Alrighty, hey guys, today we're going to be solving number 33 out of our physics textbook. And the problem reads, vector B has x, y, and z components of 4, 6, and 3 units, respectively. Calculate the magnitude of vector B and the angles vector B makes with the coordinate axes. Okay, so vector B has components of 4, 6, and 3 units. And so we have a diagram drawn out here with vector B coming out that way, and the components of 4, 6, and 3 units. Okay, so the first thing we're trying to look for is the magnitude of vector B, and we do this by using the Pythagorean theorem. So we have vector B right here, and it is the hypotenuse of the right triangle formed by this vertical component of 6 units and this diagonal, which we can solve by using the Pythagorean theorem with this right triangle right there. So we do that here. The magnitude of vector B equals the square root of 6 squared plus the magnitude of that diagonal squared. And as you can see, once we solve that all out, we get 7.81 units. Now we're looking for the measure of the angle that vector B forms with each of the axes. So for the x-axis, measure angle B, we can also form a right triangle here with this diagonal and this x component. So measure tangent theta x equals the opposite, which is the diagonal, square root of 6 squared plus 3 squared, and the x over the x, which is 4. And once we solve that all out, we get measure of the angle that vector B forms with the x-axis is 59.19 degrees. So now if we move on to the measure that it forms with the y-axis, once again we use tangent theta, and tangent theta equals opposite over adjacent. So the opposite of the right triangle that it forms with the y-axis is this diagonal right here. So square root of 3 squared plus 4 squared. And then the adjacent would be this y component, which is 6. So that's where we got tan theta y equals square root of 3 squared plus 4 squared over 6. And once we solve that all out, measure of angle theta y equals 39.81 degrees. And lastly, we need to find the angle that it forms with the z-axis. So we use tangent again, so opposite over adjacent. And so the opposite of, this is the z-axis, and the opposite of the angle of the angle that it forms with the z-axis is this diagonal right here. So 4 squared plus square root of 4 squared plus 6 squared. And then that's over the adjacent, which would be the z component, which is 3. And so that's where we get tan theta z equals square root of 6 squared plus 4 squared all over 3. And once we solve that out, we find that the measure of the angle that vector B forms with the z-axis is 67.41 degrees. So that's the solution for problem 33 in the physics textbook. Hope this helped you guys out.